Do you enjoy spending most of your day slaving away in front of your computer editing thousands of photos? If you're like me, probably not. So stick around. In the next series of videos, I'm going to show you my wedding workflow that's going to save you a lot of time and really reduce how long it takes you to edit a wedding. So check it out. Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to show you my wedding workflow. This first part is going to be the import procedure. I shot a wedding on Saturday, so I'm going to show you what I do to get the photos into my library and how I organize them and give you some time-saving tips. So I use Lightroom 4, and I have got my card into my Firewire card reader. It's very, very quick. It's Firewire 800. And I like it quite a bit. What I do is, first off, don't import selected duplicates. So we don't want to double up on anything. Over here to render previews, I've got that set to 1:1 so that as it's importing the photos, it's rendering the previews 1:1. This just really speeds things up overall as I'm working with the images. If I want to zoom in, check detail, that sort of thing as I'm working with them, it just makes it a lot faster, much more efficient. I'm going to import all of the photos, even if I have ones that I know, I blew it, it's overexposed, what have you. I'm going to import them all anyway, because I don't want to make a judgment call on an image that's really too small to be able to tell much about in the initial preview. Some people rename the files. I don't. I leave them as it is until the very end. I don't have any develop settings put on. I shoot in RAW. I do have a preset for my metadata so that it has all of my contact information, my copyright information, all of those things are automatically embedded to the metadata of every photograph that I import. I'm going to go ahead and put in 2 keywords, so wedding, the place where it was. In this particular case, this was a New Orleans wedding, Louisiana. Apparently I misspelled Louisiana at some point. I'm going to put in the client name. And just kind of basic things like that. I'm not going to get into categories, things of that nature at this point. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is put it into, I have a pictures folder that everything goes to on the hard drive. I'm going to have it organized by date. I'm going to put it into subfolder that I've already created with the client's name, and then from there just click import and away we go. So once we've got them all imported, I'll show you what we're going to do from there. Okay, so now that I've got all of my photos imported and the previews have been generated, the first thing that I do is back everything up. I use Time Machine, which exports backs up to a rugged portable external hard drive. Whenever I leave the studio, it goes with me. My camera also takes 2 memory cards. It backs up simultaneously. I have one card set to record RAW and the second card set to record JPEG, so that I always have at least something. And I prefer to shoot in RAW. All of the images that you see in the library are in RAW. So what I'm going to do is go through each image individually, and ones that I want to keep, I'm going to flag as a pick. Some of them I need to kind of alternate through to decide which ones I really like. I've started out, there's about 1,553 images in this wedding, and that includes a few videos that my wife actually took of me photographing the wedding. I wanted to use those for some teaching moments, but I may zoom in, just check sharpness. This is where it helps to have had those previews rendered one-to-one when you were doing the import. So I pretty much, I think I like the first one the best. That's what I'm going to kind of go with. There's one of those videos of me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to select all of the images that I want to keep. If I don't want to keep it, I don't select it. And at the end, I'm going to delete them. I will completely delete any images that I am not going to keep. And the reason why I'm going to delete them is because otherwise they would take up a bunch of hard drive space. The reality is that I'm not going to go back and get them later on. It just takes up space unnecessarily. So why hang on to them? Why archive them if you're never going to use them? You know, and this especially goes for images that are blown out, that, you know, just not going to make it. So I use 2 cameras throughout the day, and I sync the cameras to the computer before I even go to the wedding. That makes things pretty easy for me, so that the time is set exactly and I don't have to try and reconcile that after the fact. Makes things a lot easier for me when I'm doing this, when I'm editing. I'll skip ahead to a couple of them. I'll kind of show you one of the things that you'll see. I set a custom white balance throughout the day as I'm shooting, and so I'll take a picture of a target and I'll use it as the basis for setting the custom white balance. Now there are going to be some times where it's just not a lot of time to do that, to set the custom white balance in the camera. So what I may do is take a picture of the target itself, and I can use it as a white balance reference later on. So like here's a better example of what the target looks like. I go over, whoops, where did it go? There it is. Go over to the develop module. Grab my white balance eyedropper, select it, and then what I can do is sync my white balance using that for the subsequent photos. And I'm going to undo that synchronize setting because I think I actually did set white balance in the camera. But that's one of the things to help with your workflow, to make sure that it goes quickly and smoothly, is to have your white balance correct in the camera. The less you have to do modifying after the fact, the faster you're going to be in your image processing. So I'm going to go through and select the images that I want to keep. I'm going to delete the ones that I don't want to keep, and then I'll show you what we're going to do after that. So see ya.